news, y'all. We have got a mushroom hookup for y'all. I have been microdosing on and off for a few years now and can definitely say that when I'm on top of my dosing, my baseline is calmer, freer, and more open-minded. That's because a major benefit of microdosing is its ability to enhance neuroplasticity, your brain's natural ability to adapt, rewire, and recover from dysfunction. Mycelium combines the healing benefits of ancient medicine with science-backed nootropics and adaptogens. Each blend is packed with unique benefits. Mycelium offers a wide variety of products, making it easy to integrate microdosing into your day-to-day life. Hobbes loves their coconut creamer, and I'm really into the capsules for love because, of course, I'm a little lover boy. Click the link in our show notes and use the code Cazimi for 20% off your purchase. Again, use the link in our show notes, and the code is Cazimi, Cazimi, for 20% off your purchase.
Yo, you feel that? Dog, that's queer retrograde, baby.
Today I am finished up with week 7 of The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. I took a week off. It was amazing to take a week off. So if you're returning, thank you for returning. If you are a first-time listener, thank you for tuning in. I have had a whirlwind of the last 2 weeks, moving, starting a new job, amongst many other things. So I'm really grateful I gave myself that pause. But it was also super nice to see how The Artist's Way was a really nice reminder to be super compassionate and gracious towards myself through all of these shifts. And week 7 was all about recovering a sense of connection. And so for me, that was connection with myself, and connection with a new space, new place, new people, etc. But starting with connection with myself. And the first thing that is talked about in this chapter is listening, and how listening is such an important skill to hone in on as an artist. And our artist dates and morning pages are a way for us to do that. I think there is this like misconception that to be an artist, you have to be like some, you have to be a really intense, like one of a kind generator or something like that. Like you are the one that like comes up with all of these incredible ideas. And while, I understand part of what that idea is trying to do in crediting folks, it also, I think this chapter really goes to show that like everyone can be an artist if we just tune in with that creative part of ourselves. And the listening is a really important aspect of that. It's like literally slowing down and listening to your inner artist so that whatever that inner artist wants it can be brought to life, it can emerge, it can be heard. There's a difference between sort of straining to create something versus listening to what wants to already come out. And we all have that inside of us. It's just, how do we tap into it? So, in this chapter, Julia Cameron is talking about art being this tuning in and dropping into the well, and the well being what is under the surface of our normal consciousness. So in our day-to-day, we might be, you know, making breakfast, going to work, going for a walk, making dinner, you know, all of these sort of mundane things. That's like our baseline level of like consciousness. So what is underneath of all of that? What is like this weird kind of, you know, out of the ordinary desire that wants to come out, and being able to give the inner artist permission to make that thing, to ask for that thing and make it happen, to express ultimately. And there's not a scarcity. So going back to what I was saying earlier of like that misconception that you have to be some really one of a kind of person to be an artist. I think that's operating off of the scarcity mindset that there can only be one. There can only be one person that can like materialize this brilliant piece of work or whatever conversation needs to be had. There's only one person that can generate that conversation through their art, when in actuality there's like infinite. And it's actually the norm to have ideas about art, to have poems coming up, paintings, dances, whatever it is. Like that's actually the norm. The norm is not to be like not like to not have those things inside of you, or to not have those sort of thoughts or kind of deeper yearnings. The difference is that only some people give themselves permission to really express and materialize those ideas or those that artistry. So we just have to listen. We just have to listen. We just have to listen. And the second part to that, so the part about listening, I feel very connected to, and I believe it because I've experienced it on a somatic level. That is like an idea that has been downloaded in my body. I know if I slow down and tap into the well, my ideas will come to me. Some of my best ideas come to me whenever I'm meditating, whenever I'm actively letting my thoughts go. Let them go, let them go. I'm actively practicing detachment. That's when some of my problems get solved. And I've noticed that and I've experienced that. So, and that's just one example. You know, there's plenty of ways to dive into the well, to tap into that inner artist voice or intuition, whatever you want to call it. Again, the morning pages and the artist dates being one of those ways. So the part 2 of that, which is something that I'm still working on, like I understand it intellectually, but I'm still working on downloading it into my body, is that whatever you need for your dream or creation, the universe will give it to you. And like, even as I say that, I hear like the little Capricorn, we live in a material world, like, you know, it's hard to get things. It's hard to get people to give you money or to give you a site, a location. It's important for everyone to get paid that's involved, you know, all of these things. And so, and also I know that there is enough for everyone. There are plenty of resources for everyone. It's just that a few people are hoarding a lot of them, or are gatekeeping, I should say. So yeah, I'm trying to be more open-minded, open myself up to that truth that whatever I yearn for yearns for me too, and that includes whatever material support or support in general that I need for my creative projects. So then we get into perfectionism, and I'm gonna read a little snippet about what she means by perfectionism. Perfectionism has nothing to do with getting it right. It has nothing to do with fixing things. It has nothing to do with standards. Perfectionism is a refusal to let yourself move ahead. It is a loop, an obsessive, debilitating, closed system that causes you to get stuck in the details of what you are writing or painting or making and to lose sight of the whole. So she kind of goes on to give examples of like what that loop might look like, but basically, rather than constantly grading results, enjoy the process. That's kind of the overall message behind this section. Like, perfectionism is kind of a way to avoid ever really putting yourself out there, or to avoid like really to avoid that inner artist voice ultimately, because the inner artist is perfect in its whatever it wants to express, like, and so perfectionism is kind of blocking that in a way. It's like not letting that be enough. And that's constantly like, that is capitalist, colonialist brainwashing, right? Like, we're not enough. We need more things, more money, more this, that, da 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 da. So of course that would show up in our spiritual creative practices as well. And it's just something to work with, I think. To the perfectionist, there's always room for improvement. The perfectionist calls this humility. In reality, it is egotism. It is pride that makes us want to write a perfect script, paint a perfect painting, perform a perfect audition monologue. Perfectionism is not a quest for the best. It is a pursuit of the worst in ourselves, the part that tells us that nothing we do will ever be good enough, that we should try again. So, yeah, like, whatever we make, like, I'm trying to think of another word besides perfect, but it's just like, it's perfect. I don't know. So then the next section, she's talking about risk and how we must be willing to do something badly, and fear as a companion that accompanies us on all of these adventures. Yeah. Because ultimately we can't escape fear, and in order for us to be able to express uniquely whatever is coming up for like the inner artist, it's like, that is a risk. Just because it's out of that daily realm of safety. It's out of that, like, yeah, there was like a passage in here that was talking about perfectionism as safety. Yeah, we deny that in order to do something well, we must first be willing to do it badly. Instead, we opt for setting our limits at the point where we feel assured of success. Living within these bounds, we may feel stifled, smothered, despairing, and bored. But yes, we do feel safe, and safety is a very expensive illusion. And so there's this example from the movie Raging Bull where boxer Jake LaMotta's manager / brother explains to him why he should shed some weight and fight an unknown opponent. And then he has this big, long, intricate spiel. And at the end, he says, so do it. If you win, you win. And if you lose, you win. So basically, like, a risk is worth taking simply for taking it. And it is a way to dismantle that perfectionist kind of myth or block. And this is something that I've been thinking about and working with for a couple months now. Kind of death to perfectionism and control. So this definitely resonated with me, and yeah, it's just going to be something I continue to notice as it comes up and how it causes me suffering, and try to actively shift my belief system around it. Yeah. So then this chapter gets into jealousy, and she talks about how jealousy is a map kind of for what we really want. We talked about this a little bit in terms of anger. Like, whenever you feel really angry about something, it's often an indication that that might be something that you want, or an experience you want, or that you feel or that I feel like I might be able to like do something better than whoever is doing it. So it's making me angry that they're the one that's doing it. So jealousy can also be a map, but it can operate under the scarce idea that there's only room for one. So again, we're seeing how like scarcity is showing up as a huge player in these creative blocks. And yeah, like, just because someone got an award, or got this, that, or the other thing, whatever it is, got a studio, had this show, whatever it is, oh, well, since they have it, like, I can't have it. There's not enough room for both of us to be successful if this is also my version of success. But that's just not true. Like, there is room for all of us to get all of the things that are meant for us ultimately. So jealousy can kind of narrow our perspective. Yeah, so then I did like this jealousy map. That was one of the exercises this chapter. So the jealousy map had 3 columns. It was who I'm jealous of, why I'm jealous of them, and then the action or antidote that I could take to move toward creative risk and out of jealousy. So the examples are like that the book gives. Who, my sister, why she has a real art studio, action, fix the spare bedroom into your art studio, or whatever. And then there was also an archaeology exercise that was asking phrases from my past, as well as acknowledging the positive, like taking positive inventory of the work that has been done. So the examples of the phrases from childhood is like, As a kid, I missed the chance to blank. As a kid, I could have used blank. As a kid, I dreamed of being blank. So this is also a good way to tap into what my inner artist child might be yearning for, and kind of which directions to go on when it comes to like my artist dates or just my creative practice as a whole. And then in the positive inventory ones, we had one thing, or I think I have nice blank. I am taking a greater interest in blank. I have a loyal friend in blank. I believe I'm getting better at blank. My self-care is blank. So this was good to fill out in this particular moment in my life because of all the transition that's been happening. It kind of rerouted me back into like all of my resources that I have cultivated, my whole toolkit that I have cultivated and practiced, and reminding me to be confident through all of these kind of bigger waves of life that I got this. And what else? So yeah, this week kind of uncovered some of the buried parts of myself in a very timely way. And in terms of the exercises, I actually ended up doing some of the exercises last week, even though I took the week off. So one of the exercises was to make a collage, and I love collaging so much. It has become a big part of my creative practice over the last few months, and with the spring equinox and astrological new year, I was like, okay, let me take my bingo board that I had made last year. So the past 2 or 3 years, my sister and I, and sometimes Hobbes, made these bingo boards of like 5 across, 5 down, different activities or, you know, things we wanted to do or things we wanted to accomplish each year, and then crossing them off as we do them and then seeing who gets bingo. So I did get bingo in 2025, but there were like, I think 6 boxes that I didn't cross off. So I was kind of waiting to bring them into this year whenever the time felt right, and it did feel right a few weeks ago. So I made a new bingo board. I only did 9 things this time because I had the 6 that were left over from last year. I think I pulled some of them, used some of them, didn't use some of them, or like swapped some of them out. And then I made a collage around it of, you know, just various magazines and picture books and newspapers that I've collected. And I wanted the vibe of that collage to be just like really inspiring. So things that often inspire me are like nature, like sunsets, water, the, you know, plants, the woods. There was an image of like, I forget what the type of building or architecture it is, but it's basically like a roof where all of the wood pieces are all positioned in a way that they're like leaning on each other to make the roof work. I felt like that was a really good reminder of like interconnection like within myself and with all the beings around me. And yeah, there was some fish on there. Like, it was just images that just stuck out to me and felt good. So I did that. And then There was one where it said, take yourself into a sacred space and savor the silence and healing solitude. And it's actually funny because I went to my meditation group this morning, which is at a, it's like a small local temple. And I walked in and it was already full. So I had to like go upstairs, and I ended up sitting completely by myself in this separate space. It was like the overflow space or whatever. And I was like, wow, I can like really savor the quiet up here. Because it's just me. So that was very timely. One of them was create one wonderful smell in your house with soup, incense, branches, candles, whatever. Y'all, I have been deep cleaning my house. I'm subletting from my friend, and the living room, there must have been a cat that used to live here, so there is some intense cat smells in here. So for my sake and Millie's sake, I have been putting baking soda on everything, letting it sit, vacuuming it, windows open, all that jazz. So today I finally got it to a place that I'm like, all right, I feel like I've done everything I could, and I lit a candle. So that felt good. And just in general, I feel like I've just had a really heightened sense of smell because of it. So this exercise really resonated with me. One of them that I want to do still is buy yourself one wonderful pair of socks, one wonderful pair of gloves, one wonderfully comforting, self-loving something. I've gotten like really into fuzzy socks over the winter because they feel kind of nostalgic to me. I feel like my like family, like my grandparents and stuff, they used to give me socks like that in like whatever Christmas gifts or whatever, and they're also just like an affordable, cozy thing. I don't know. I just got into them this year, so I'll probably get myself some new ones. And then quickly list 5 favorite films. Do you see any common denominators among them? Are they romances, adventures? Do you see traces of your cinematic themes in your collage? So my movies were like Arrival, Everything Everywhere All at Once, the movie Valentine's Day, Legally Blonde. It was like all movies that were based on like love, just love being at the forefront, and people like really looking at themselves and like growing from this like sort of deep like, I know I can do this, and I'm gonna do this for me and for these people that I love, and like doing it, like proving it to themselves sort of thing. But like really just like, what if I choose love? Like, what if I believe in myself and my intuition and my ability to connect with other people? So those were my common denominators. And yeah, there were a few other tasks, but those were kind of the main ones that jumped out. And then in terms of the morning pages, y'all, I've only missed one day of morning pages in all of April. Today is April 12th. I am recording this on April 12th, Sunday, April 12th. And I have only missed one day, which I'm like really impressed with given how much has been going on in my life. But I do think that the morning pages have, and just the Artist Way in general, has been really reminding me to slow down and just be kind to myself through all of this newness. So I'm really grateful for that. My artist date, I took myself to this like new sandwich place today, and I just sat at the bar and had lunch. Very simple, but very powerful, because it reminded me of just how sensitive I feel around people. Like, I just feel like I have been like picking up on other people's like energy and emotions lately more. So, yeah, it was like a great experience, and illuminating, and a great sandwich, and I'm glad I did it. I enjoyed myself. Synchronicities would be peacock. There's literally, I saw a live peacock, and it like put up all its feathers and did the whole thing at my new job. And then literally a few days later, I went to go visit my friend, and she gave me she gave me a journal that had a peacock like engraved on it. I was like, what are the chances? So something with peacock, I do need to look that up after I record this. And then, yeah, the only issues that have just been coming up have just been time and energy. Working again and all of that. It's just been, I get home and I'm like, oh, I just want to watch something. I don't want to like read the Artist Way or like do my whatever creative thing. But I'm sure that that's a balance that will come with time, and again, just trying to have compassion and grace for myself along the way. And yeah, week eight I think actually dives into this idea of time, and this scarcity of time, and misconceptions about time that I've like kind of ingrained in myself. So week 8 is recovering a sense of strength, and I hope you will tune in. Thank you so much for listening, and stay safe out there. Till next time.
Please, dear God, keep the gay agenda alive and tell your gay friends about this gay ass podcast. Bless, bless, bless.